Next newsletter. We live in an era where news travels at lightning speed. But behind every headline, every image, and every breaking story is someone. Journalists, warriors without weapons who willingly step into danger to bring the truth to the public. Today, we revisit a powerful and alarming moment. A journalist shot in the head by a rubber bullet fired by police in Los Angeles. This is more than an individual incident. It raises serious questions about press freedom, the safety of journalists, and how society responds in moments of crisis. The incident occurred on the 2nd of June, 2020, in Los Angeles, amidst a wave of protest sparked by the death of George Floyd. As public outrage spread across the U.S., thousands took to the streets. And in the middle of it all, journalists like Carolyn Cole, a veteran photojournalist from the Los Angeles Times, were on the ground capturing history in real time. Carolyn was photographing at an intersection near City Hall. Everything happened so fast. In a video that later went viral, we can see her standing calmly in the crowd, camera in hand, not provoking, not interfering, yet a police officer fired a rubber bullet that struck her head directly. She collapsed, her face covered in blood, and was rushed to the hospital. That moment captured by witnesses sent shockwaves through the public, both in America and around the world. This event triggered widespread concern over the increasing threats to press freedom, especially during moments of civil unrest. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, in 2020 alone, there were over 300 reported attacks on journalists in the U.S., many of them involving law enforcement. In a democratic society, why are journalists who are protected by the Constitution being targeted? We're witnessing a tension between two forces: the public's right to information and the authorities' effort to maintain order. When these two collide, who suffers first? It's the reporters, the photographers, the ones bringing light to darkness. The moment Carolyn Cole fell wasn't just about injury, it became a symbol of courage in journalism. She stood there, in the eye of the storm, not only to take pictures, but to bear witness to truth. Even after being hurt, Carolyn said, "I don't blame anyone, but I will continue reporting because the truth needs to be told." A simple sentence, yet so powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, today's story is not just about a painful accident. It's a reminder. Journalism, though it wears no armor, is always on the front lines. And every time we read a story, let's remember that someone may have risked or given their blood, sweat, and even life for it.
Hello and welcome to Tino New. Today, we'll be discussing a topic that has stirred up international attention. The strong backlash from Los Angeles residents against the pressure.
Exposing the tension in LA. Trump wants mass deportations, but city leaders and residents are pushing back hard. Here's what you need to know. In early June, Trump ordered California to help deport undocumented immigrants, triggering mass protests across Los Angeles. The city's sanctuary policy means local officials refuse to help federal agents detain people who haven't committed serious crimes. But Trump escalated, deploying 2,000 National Guard troops to LA, without the governor's consent. California leaders called this a serious breach of state sovereignty and filed lawsuits to stop the troops. Meanwhile, the Latino community and human rights groups organized peaceful protests, despite some clashes and over 120 arrests. Many residents say they now live in fear for their families. Nationally, public opinion remains divided. Some see Trump's actions as strong leadership, others as federal overreach. The conflict in Los Angeles raises a critical question. How do we balance national security with protecting individual rights?
Next news bulletin. Have you ever imagined a city as vibrant and bustling as Los Angeles, the global center of film, culture, and nightlife, becoming completely silent after sunset? Not because of a celebration, not due to a holiday, but because of an official curfew. Tonight, we'll take a closer look at why this city that never sleeps was forced into stillness, and what that says about the state of society in these turbulent times. On the 2nd of June, 2020, amid a wave of nationwide protests following the death of George Floyd, the city of Los Angeles made a bold decision to impose a curfew in the downtown area starting from 6:00 p.m. that evening to 6 a.m. the next morning. This was no small move. Los Angeles is one of the most populous cities in the U.S., with vibrant nightlife and ongoing economic activity. Shutting down the heart of the city for an entire night was like pausing the heartbeat of a fully functioning body. But what exactly led to such a drastic measure? The day before, downtown Los Angeles saw mass protests, with thousands of people gathering mostly peaceful demonstrations. But by evening, tensions rose. A few extremist groups took advantage of the situation to loot stores, set vehicles on fire, and clash with police. The city quickly shifted into emergency mode. Dozens of police vehicles were deployed. Major roads were blocked. Authorities had no choice but to enforce a curfew, hoping to contain the unrest, minimize damage, and protect both protesters and residents. A curfew is a powerful but sensitive tool. From a security perspective, it helps limit potential violence, isolate hotspots, and allows police to manage crowds and traffic more effectively. But socially and ethically, it can be controversial. Does it violate the right to move freely? Does it unfairly impact peaceful demonstrators or innocent residents? For Los Angeles residents, it was an eerie night. No honking, no neon lights, no chatter. Just the sound of helicopters circling above and police units patrolling deserted streets. Many people filmed scenes of a near-empty downtown that looked more like a post-apocalyptic movie than a real city, unsettling, yet thought-provoking. The Los Angeles curfew wasn't just a local matter. It represented a broader conflict between public order and civil liberties. This is a dilemma faced by every democratic society. When citizens take to the streets seeking justice, and the system must maintain peace, is there a middle ground where no one has to suffer? That's why the image of empty roads, dimmed lights, and signs flashing curfew in effect became symbols of a tense chapter in American history where every decision carried weight and every silence spoke volumes. Dear audience, one night of curfew in Los Angeles meant more than a security measure. It served as a wake-up call, a reminder of deeper societal issues. And even if the city lights come back on tomorrow, questions of freedom, justice, and human rights will still remain waiting to be resolved, not through force, but through dialogue and understanding. Thank you for joining us this evening. Wishing you a peaceful night and plenty to reflect on.